call for the,
Judge Deskins?
yes.
Magistrate Anderson? Magistrate Johnson? Magistrate Murphy?
Here.
Magistrate Robinson?
Here.
Magistrate Dodson?
Here.
And Magistrate Martin.
Here.
Would you lead us in the pledge, Leo? Magistrate Marty, would you introduce our special guest?
I sure will, Judge. It's an honor for me this evening to announce a few young gentlemen that made up the Belford 9 and 10 Little League All-Stars. They won the District 7, they were the District 7 champions, and went and played in the state tournament last weekend down in Richmond, Kentucky. District 7 consists of teams from Belfry, or all-star teams from Belfry, Phelps, South Central Floyd, Prestonsburg, Paintsville, East Ridge, Morgan County, Fleming Neon, Knott County, Whitesburg, Letcher County, and Virgie. So these were the all-stars that were picked or that have won that district. They were 6-0 in district play and went and played in the state tournament last week. As I call your name, you come up, we've got a little piece of paper to give you and stuff. Then I want you to come in behind the judge here so we can get a picture of everybody, okay? I'll read this first one out to let you know what it is that we're giving them. To all whom these presents shall come, greetings. Know ye that Honorable Braden Dotson is commissioned as a Pike County Junior Ambassador, in honor of the many future achievements on and off the field, education, to continue good citizenship, interest in the workings of county government, and commitment to the success of the native home county, Pike County, Kentucky, is honored by the establishment and continued junior ambassadorship of these young native sons and daughters whose heralds shall always be home in the mountains. In testimony, therefore, I have caused these letters to be made, patent, and the seal of Pike County, Kentucky, to be hereunto affixed, done at Pikeville, Kentucky, the 2nd day of August in the year of our Lord, 2016, signed by the Judge Deskins. So with Braden Dotson, is he here? You can come get him. Max Dotson. Zach Pike.
Just line up behind me.
Blake Hager. Braden Hall. Matt Jewell. Zeth Hunt. Connor Meade. Isaiah Stanley. Caden Varney. Does he look like me? Chase Barney. Same side. We're the same height.
You ready?
Eli Walker.
Let's go, Billy.
Coach Matt Hayden. Coach Ryan Mead. And the manager of the team, Tom Barney. We're real proud of these young people, and the thing about it is they represented the Pike County well down to the state. Win, lose, or draw, it was an honor to have them representing us. And they are good ambassadors for Pike County.
Thank you.
Bill. Judge. Sit here and
Thank you,
take a
Judge.
picture of, sit here and they'll take a picture of you.
Everybody smile. Say you. Say turkey.
I'll say turkey.
Hey, congratulations. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Keep it up.
Yep. That's the baby, yeah. He's here somewhere. Yeah.
Sandy Runyon.
That's my baby boy, yeah.
She's gonna give us some money. It'll take.
I'm always glad to follow a group from Belfry.
All right.
Judge, I have a little bit of good news tonight. I have an Area Development Fund check that we received on behalf of Pike County in the amount of $31,775, and I know Jonda's happy about that.
All right.
It is money that you've already spent, and it was on several projects. This is one of those things that's reimbursable, so it was on several small projects that were done here in the courthouse. It was actually 9 projects, and it was a podium, some trophies for high school and college teams, Fallen Peace Officer Memorial, the message sign, partial costs on the message sign, and then a custom routed sign face for the message sign and installation, 2-sided county facility ID sign, 42-inch LED TV for the Heritage Hallway downstairs, a tranquilizer rifle and cartridge kit for the animal shelter, and replacement of turf at the John R. Phillips Putt-Putt Golf Course in the county-owned park at Hardy. It's been a long time coming to get all of these projects together to get your reimbursement, but I have told Jeannie this, but there was some issue with some of the paperwork in Frankfurt, and when they got that straightened out, then we were able to get all of the information to them to get reimbursement for this. So you have, I think, 2 more projects out there that you have asked for funds, for replacement funds for, and as soon as they can get those processed down there, we'll get those dollars back to you also. But this was the primary amount that you had down there, so we'll get the other checks as soon as Frankfurt can get them out to you. So it should be not very long, but we appreciate the fact that you've used these funds so well.
And thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you very much.
Might as well give it to John.
Give it to Jeannie to log, and then I'll get it from Jeannie.
Who?
And it's budgeted, it's not free and clear money, that's just cash flow. Reimbursed.
We need to go into executive session next. Bobby? We need to go into executive session.
Pardon? And litigation. Yes, sir. That's what I've got. Judge, I'd like at this time make a motion that we go into executive session in accordance with KRS 61.810, paragraph C, discuss proposed or pending litigation, and paragraph F, Pacific personnel matters.
Thank you. I need a motion.
Second, I'll second, Bobby.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Meeting come to order. Next on the line, adoption, oh, wait a minute, you want to get that thing done?
No, they passed on it.
Passed on it? Okay. All right, adoption of a resolution for approval to apply for a Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Transportation Alternatives Programs, TAP, grant for sidewalks for the community of Phelps, Kentucky, authorization to execute all documents which are deemed necessary. Lisa?
Judge, they opened up August 1st, the Transportation Department opened up the alternative programs. Last year, Elkhorn City got their sidewalk, so this year we actually are going to apply for this one, which is the Phelps community, to be able to do sidewalks where the new athletic facility is going down that street, so people can be able to walk. So we're going to apply for that. And then the next two that you have on there, which you'll vote for, is the Hatfield-McCoy Park, in order to put a bridge across the low water bridge so the people can cross safely from one side of the park to the other. And then the last one is for Grants Branch, being able to have sidewalks all the way up to the park at the top.
Okay. I need a motion to adopt.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Now, Judge, is that for just one, or is that for all three? Can we, is that okay, John Doug, to be able to do that? Okay, that's for all three of those, Judge, so you can go on to awarding of the bids. The three that we were talking about was the Phelps sidewalks, the Hatfield-McCoy, and the Grants Branch.
Next, adoption of a resolution for approval to apply for a Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Transportation Alternative Programs, TAP, grant a preservation bridge at the Hatfield-McCoy. Well, what's this, another that we just passed on? All together? All right. All right. Thank you.
Well, does Hill need to amend his motion to put all three of them together?
Well, you got three here just in a row like that. You want to pay them?
Judge, I'll amend my motion and put them all three together as one resolution there.
Yes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Well, okay. Master Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, another thing I want to find out now, is this your thing, come back to that park thing?
No, they don't have a thing to do with it.
Now, check, this is a grant. This is a grant that Lisa and,
Do with that other thing we've been talking about.
no. This is a grant that Lisa and Chris Harris is working together to try to get some grant money to do some work on the parks over there. And Grants Branch.
I just want to make sure I don't vote for something
Yeah, you want to vote?
and lose my parking, you know what I'm talking about?
No, it don't have nothing to do with it, but it don't have a thing to do
Your
with it.
vote's yes.
Don't have anything to do with the park.
No.
I'll vote for it too.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney? Judge Deskins?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is awarding of bids. You have any bids? All right. Matrix comments.
Road work. Motion.
Do what?
We got the road work.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the road work.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson, Mr. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Barney,
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes. Treasurer's business.
Okay, comment. Manager's comments.
Authorize any necessary transfers, interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, life, and dental insurance.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson, Mr. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Barney,
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes.
Authorize the lodging registration expenses for anyone who wishes to attend the Kentucky Institute for Economic Development course, August 22nd through the 25th, 2016, at the Lexington Hilton Suites, Lexington, Kentucky.
Motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson.
Yes.
Mr. Barney.
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes. All right. Public comment. You come to the podium and for public comment, state your name, address, and concerns. You have 10 minutes.
Just a minute, Judge, I'm not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Assistant County Attorney Hayes, would you do the first reading of an ordinance for CAECO for the worldwide equipment financing?
Yes. The court may recall that when we entered into the financial arrangements with CAECO, we did a resolution concerning this, but now they're requesting that we do this via ordinance and not by way of resolution. So this will be a first reading of an ordinance approving a lease for the financing of a project, providing for the payment and security of the lease, creating a sinking fund, authorizing the execution of various documents related to such lease, and making certain designations regarding such lease. That's the first reading of the ordinance in summary form. No further action is required this time, Judge.
All right.
The golf course leases are due, and I've been emailing back and forth to Mike Blackburn on the golf course board to try and find out what the leases are. The last information I received, and I still am going to have to contact Charles Baird to find out if there is if it's due for cost of living increases on these or not. The email I received back from Elaine Rutherford says that Pam receives minimally, I think she agreed to like $11,000 for the year due to the fact that they were having financial difficulties, and up to $12,000 each June 1, which is late, but she said check with Charles Baird to see how much we need to pay for Pam Hunt. Quarterly, John Paul Burchett receives $4,950, and Sue Jennings receives $550. So I need to get the court to approve to pay these leases, so we're not in arrears, and we do have $40,000 budgeted in the budget to pay the leases, since they were originated as 99-year leases when the first 9 and the last 9 were acquired.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson.
Yes.
Mr. Barney.
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes.
I would like to make one comment on that. Contrary to what the public believes, I am not kin to John Paul Burchett. That does not have any bearing on me and my family paying these leases for the golf course. So people need to get the facts. I need approval for Jimmy Kaiser to attend the 2016 CAM registration, the Kentucky Association of Mitigation Managers Conference, August 22nd through the 25th, Kentucky Dam Village State Resort Park.
Motion.
That's a popular week this time.
Need a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskey?
Yes.
Just a minute, Judge. Need authorization as when the money's received to pay Prater Construction from the NRCS funds for Widows Branch in the amount of $8,400 when received.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskey?
Yes.
In previous court meetings, we had approved paying, and I'm not sure if I need to pay Peoples of Kentucky or Amos Bartley, but we set it for an amount that was not enough to cover the loss of the gas, less whatever their normal bill is for the month. But the current charges on this one was $1,420.07 of gas expended due to the fact there was the break in the line. So authorize up to that amount at this point, less whatever the normal bill would have been.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskey?
Yes.
Authorization to pay Mike May $1,500 from road account 6.
I need a motion.
Mike May, on the
Oh.
$1,500 reimbursement.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskey?
Yes.
If you don't care, John, I'd like to tell Mr. May, if you can, get up with me Monday, and we'll try to have that check available, and you just sign off on that agreement that we spoke about, okay? Thank you.
Just to bring the court up to date, an email from Amy Barnes dated yesterday. She finally got the mineral calculations done, and they got the magic number pushed on the coal late last week. The Pike County Fiscal Court in coal severance tax for the second quarter will be, which is my first quarter, will be $344,011.90, which is in line with the fourth quarter that we received last year. The mineral severance is going to be $148,873.71, which is in line with what the fourth quarter was at the end of 2016, fiscal year, fourth quarter. The numbers are not rebounding at this point. They have implemented the legislative changes. Could the numbers on coal have been worse? They could have. I'm not sure how the language impacted this number, but at this point, it's a little less than what we had budgeted. We budgeted 1.9, but hopefully it'll pick up in the next 3 quarters. Mineral is on target or a little above at this 1 quarter estimate. That's the best I can say. The Community Trust Bank, we just got closed on those documents yesterday and got the short-term loan for $2.5 million yesterday. Before I put that in the bank, the consolidated account had $1.2 million in the bank. The accounts payable went out yesterday, which was $1.8 million. $365,000 of that was from the solid waste account, so the general fund's going to have to loan money to solid waste because it only had $99,000 in the bank to pay their bills till we get the solid waste coupons out. We got to pay the health and life insurance and dental for July and August since we didn't have the money. And also with doing this ordinance for the bank on the worldwide equipment, we had one company, Magnolia Bank, who declined to allow us to do the worldwide equipment leasing due to our downturn in our revenues. I was honest with them and told them it was the perfect storm, hit it once, everything bottomed out on us. We've made changes to try to not have it happen again. That wasn't good enough to get everything accomplished, so that's why we're going to try with another bank, doing it as an ordinance. And I've got to get my fourth quarter finished up and finalized in order to be able to get that finished up. Where we've not had money to pay the bills, I'm incurring some late fees on one of the loans, but when you don't have the money and you can't pay it and you're waiting to get them, it takes time from everybody to get them, and even the coal and minerals should have already been to us by now, but that wouldn't quite have been enough to pay payroll and pay the bills, because that's just a little over $480,000. So we're working diligently to try and get money in, trying to stay on top of it. I feel like the payroll's the most important to our employees. We'll take it as it comes with the bills and pay them when we can get the money and get everything squared away by hopefully January or February, and we'll be sitting better with having money in the bank, because the tax tickets and everything and the solid waste will go out to get the majority of the money at that time. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
All right. On this matrix comments, do we want to go through that? Do you have any, Jeff?
Oh, I don't have any, Judge.
Check.
No.
Okay.
Judge, I've got a few little things. One thing, I guess, we're here to probably find out where we stand on our senior citizen centers are being reopened. And maybe Diane or Ryan or somebody could go to the podium and tell us where we stand. And
The Senior Citizens Board met last Wednesday, and we have figured in our budget a way to open the Marbone Center and the Phelps Center. It will make all of our centers except the Pikeville Center go down to 3 days a week. That will include your all centers, will be 3 days a week. We will have 7 centers that's 3 days a week, and 1 center that's 5 days a week, which by our contract, if you have more than 1 center, we have to have 1 full-time center, okay? That's just part of the state's requirements. In order to do this, our employees lost their health and life insurance. We lost 5,074 meals by shutting the 4-day-a-week centers down to 3 days a week. That's home-delivered meals, 5,074. The 3-day-a-week directors lost 3 hours a week on their payroll, and the 4-day-a-week employees lost 7 hours a week. But we did get it figured till we could open them back up. We have posted at the unemployment office a director's job at each center and a cook's job. We've had several to apply. We have the applications in my office. That's where they come to apply for them. I would like to clear the air, to repeat Jonda's statements, that it was told at Phelps that we'd already hired a director. Well, that's not true. We are taking applications until this Friday. One day next week, 2 of the board members and myself will call these people that have applied, and we will have interviews. After those interviews, then someone will be chosen for these positions. But there's not been anybody promised a job, and there will not be anybody promised a job. They will have to go through the proper steps of filling out an application and then going through an interview with the board, some of the board members and myself. Anybody have any questions? No, she retired. She's not applied. I've not talked to her, but she can apply for the job. Yeah. She can apply. She needs to come to my office if she wants that job back.
Diane, I don't know where you heard it from, but I've not heard anything about anybody being hard for the Phelps. You know,
Well,
I don't know where that's coming from.
it was repeated at the center yesterday. And I also had somebody to come in today and apply, and they said that ever who it was asked them to, or told them about this job, these jobs being available, they had told him on Saturday, and they called him back on Sunday and said, don't bother going, they've already promised somebody. So it has got around Phelps. It's at the Phelps Center. All of those people, the seniors that were there yesterday were mad because they said, well, she's already promised somebody the job, but I have not done that. Everyone I have spoke to, no matter who it was, I told them the same thing I just told you, the procedure of going through getting a job.
That's all I've ever heard. I've not heard anybody say, you know, matter of fact, the people that attend, they didn't know who was going to get the job, or they didn't have any recommendations of anybody to send. But, you know, regardless of who you are, I'd like for them to be good to the seniors.
And that's what I want to.
That's one of the requirements that I think it should be in your interview, that you would make sure they would treat the seniors with respect.
Yes, sir, and I'm sure that will be.
And another thing was on the agenda was the 2-day option that they had discussed to go in and volunteer to play their games and participate and not fool with the kitchen. I guess that is something that you had talked to one of the seniors about and told them it would have to be up to the court to determine that option.
Well, I did speak to that senior, and, you know, we have 7 other centers besides Phelps. And those centers aren't going to be open 2 other days, so that will be left up to the court. If the court makes that decision to let that one center be open.
Well, I was under the impression that a lot of the other centers didn't want but 3 days a week from your board. You know, Mr. Gibbs, he said Blackberry only wants 3 days a week. I think Kemper only wants 3 days a week. I don't know about the other centers.
Well, I'm not sure. It's not going to be part of the senior citizens program that you're speaking about on, like, the Thursday and Friday, right?
I don't know what days you're going to open.
They will be open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
So the other 2 days is an option if they want to go in and play games. That building belongs to the people, and it don't belong to you or me or the county or the senior citizens.
Oh, sir, and that's the reason that's not a decision I need to make.
Well, you know, that was one question I guess we need to iron out, and I think the court would have to hear that and agree whether to let them do it or not. And even the seniors have said they would volunteer to open it up on their own and not bother your kitchen or anything that you had there.
Okay, that would be fine. If that's what the court wants to do, if, you know.
I'm only one vote, and it'll be up to the court. You know, I'm just expressing my views about the centers that's in my district, and it'd be up to them to discuss their district.
Well, I feel that it wouldn't be right to hire somebody to come in and do that. But if the seniors wanted to volunteer and do that, I think that would be fine as far as I'm, you know.
Yeah. Why would you feel it wouldn't be right to hire somebody?
Well, here we have shut people down in our centers,
Yeah.
and why would you hire someone to come in on Thursday and Friday and it not even be open as a senior citizen center?
Well, it would be open because they have their games that they play and the things that they do. And all the other centers, you know, that was the reason we built these centers, so our seniors could have places to go. And losing 574, is that what you said,
Yes,
delivered meals? I think that's uncalled for, you know, we should,
5,000.
5,000?
The Belfry Center
that
lost
per month?
almost 3,000.
Per month?
The Belfry Center.
Per month? Per year. That's still a big number. Yeah, it is. And you know, the homebound people, I feel, they should be taken care of first. And you know, that's a lot of meals that we're losing. Well, I wasn't for cutting you down one day. You know, that's the way it come out. And you know, I don't want to see anybody go without something to eat. But you got to do what you got to do, I guess. It is what it is.
Guess so. Thank you.
Hey, Diane, I've got to, let me kind of get this straight now. We had the Marbone Center shut down and the Phelps Center shut down. Was how many people did that disrupt service that we weren't going to offer service to?
At Marbone and at Phelps?
Yeah.
Well, it would have been the seniors that came in-house. There was different numbers, but it would not have affected the home-delivered meal people, and it has not affected any of them.
So it was just the people that came there to that center that day that it really affected, right?
Yes.
For the day. And now,
And we actually had 3 people that rode the van at Phelps. And most of the time it was 2. We had 1 and 2 that rode the van at Marbone. So most of the people, if they came in, they could drive in, but they did not take transportation from us.
How many ride the vans from the other areas?
15, 18. We have 7.
And all the centers, 15 and 18?
Yes, sir.
But you still had the same, basically, the people that were attending wasn't very much difference in them. I think Marbone was showing a greater number, wasn't it, than some of the other centers?
Not really. It was on paper, sir.
What were they, like 26 people or something, average, or 40?
They did not have 26 people to attend their center daily. On the Monday before we made this decision, Marbone had 4.
That one day? Mm-hmm. But on the
But
average?
Not on an average, no. They would have 10, 12, 14.
Phelps had 19?
No, sir.
That's what I was told, the average was showing 19.
And I understand that. That was on paper.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bob.
but then the question I had on Diane was, so we're talking about, and let's exaggerate the number, then 25 or 30 people that were displaced because of those 2 centers. And now, with going to 3 days a week across it, how many are we going to lose? I mean, how many are we not serving?
Well, you know how many you have at Belfry, Bobby. You visit there frequently.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you have 25 a day.
Yeah.
The Elkhorn Center has anywhere from 30 to 50 a day. And the Shelby Valley Center has about 18 a day. So when you add that up, and then the home delivered meal part will be the almost 6,000 meals a year that we lose, or that the homebound people will lose. I mean, this Senior Citizens Board did not want to close any centers.
Right, I understand that.
But
And
you're
you know,
putting the blame on Phelps and Marbone for these people losing their insurance and losing their home delivered meals. Everything's being blamed on Phelps and Marbone. And I think that's unjust and it's uncalled for.
Well, let me back up. I don't want to blame Phelps and Marbone for it. I'm just saying the centers, period. I mean, we don't want to lose any centers, but if cuts has got to be made and stuff, are we doing them in the right direction now? I got to question that. I'm looking at 5,000 meals plus versus 25 meals. I don't see. I'm having a problem with that now. I want that board to do their job and run that. I don't want to try to interfere with you in any way, but I do have some concerns and some questions about what we're doing now. Are we giving the best bang for the buck for our seniors? And I for sure want to do that. And that's the only reason I'm not trying to put a blame on nobody, on anything.
If Belfry had been cut off, how would you have felt?
Pardon?
If Belfry had been shut off, how would you have felt?
If they'd been shut off?
Yeah, 25 people versus 19 people. How would you weigh that out?
I would question it.
A senior is a senior regardless of where they live.
That's right, 100%.
They've been trying to close Marbone for 10 years. Every time they turn around, they're talking about trying to close Marbone.
Magistrate Varney, the Senior Citizens Board had a really hard time with making the decision to close the two centers to begin with, but it did balance our budget.
Yeah.
Okay? It didn't change anything except the people that came in-house to the Phelps Center and the Marbone Center. And the Shelby Valley Center and the Elkhorn Center are just within miles of Marbone. The Kemper Center and the Blackberry Center is just within miles of Phelps. We did not mean to hurt any seniors. But then when we had to figure our budget and open these two centers back up, this was really a hard decision. And I don't know what we're going to do when, and you hear your finances here for the county, you are not going to be able to continue to give us $600,000 a year. There's no way you can. Okay, what's going to happen when I come to you and I say, I've got to close 5 centers? I've got to close 4 centers. Is it always going to be this much? I mean, it's going to come to that because Big Sandy Area Development District has lost about $120,000 in their budget. I have a meeting with them Thursday to discuss our contract. I don't even know how much funding we're going to get from Title III this year. This may not be the end of making decisions with our budget until we sign a contract. But Magistrate Dotson, in no way am I trying to blame Phelps or Marbone. I'm not trying to do that. But making these decisions, I just want you to know and the public to know that our employees did lose their health insurance and life insurance. It's not your all's fault. It's something that had to happen in order to open these centers back up. But we are more than happy to work with Phelps and to work with Marbone, as well as with all the other centers, to be open 3 days a week. We will do our best, and we will feed all we can, okay?
How much did it cost you to give all the employees the raise to $10.10 an hour? You know, we're not telling that part now.
$95,000.
Okay, didn't that take the money that we had gave you to get your budget operating? You know, you lost $100,000 for them raises, which I think everybody needs a raise. But, you know, put a little blame where it went. You know, the raises came down and it cost you $100,000 out of your budget, so you had to make cuts. Is that not true?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
I take the blame for that, sir, that my employees that had been there 15 and 18 years that were making $7.50 an hour got raised to $10.10. I take every bit of the blame for that.
But you're taking the blame on Phelps and Marbone for making them lose their insurance.
Magistrate Dotson, I'm not saying that. Are you finished? Does anybody else have any questions?
Bobby, you have any remarks? You got any more to say?
I guess I've said enough.
Judge, I'd just like to say that over in my district, the senior citizen center at Belfry is it's a crown jewel in District 6. I appreciate those people. I can go into that room anytime and kind of feel bad, my leg will hurt, my back are hurting or whatever, and see some of them elderly people and some of the activities that they're doing, it makes me feel better. So they're a blessing to me if they're just there one day a week, 5 minutes a day, or whatever it is. I love each and every one of them. The litter pickup in my district, we're getting back on track on picking up litter. It's a shame that we got to say that because we're picking up litter from the same old places that we've always picked it up at. Our Pride organization, I can't say enough about them. This new program, or it's not a new program, but the program that Jailer Lewis has on Unite about getting hooked on fishing instead of hooked on drugs for our young kids. I'm really impressed with what I've seen of it so far. I think it'll go a long way because someone said, well, we're going to lose a generation to drugs. I think we've already lost one generation to drugs. We're looking for the second generation now that we're going to lose to drugs. So I'm praised and impressed with some of the things that are going on. It's pretty positive, and I want to try to stay in that mood, and sometimes that's hard to do. But that's all I've got, Judge.
Thank you. Now, public comment. Eleanor Little.
Judge, before we start public comments, I'd like to, if you give me just a minute, ma'am, go ahead. Before this meeting started, I come out and I spoke to a couple of gentlemen that was here about their comments that they're going to make tonight. We got several that's been here several times and spoke in detail about the situation going on with their properties or their communities. And we welcome anybody that wants to speak on any issue that you want to speak on. The only thing I'm asking you is please don't speak continuously on the things that you spoke about in the past. Mr. Thacker, I told you before this court started that issues that you had, the county attorney's office has kind of directed us in the direction that he wants us to go in, and I'm going to listen to counsel that he directs us. So you're more welcome to speak on anything you want to speak on, but please don't be repetition. And same thing with Mr. Sloan. I don't think Mr. Sloan liked my comments when I come out and spoke with him, and I don't know how critical he's going to be of me when he comes up here. But I'm going to ask you again, if, you know, any new comments you have, please come and speak them, but don't be repetition. And 10 minutes on anything that you want to speak of that's new, on anything else that you ain't already spoke on. Sorry to interrupt you.
My name is Eleanor Little, and I live at 12493 Elkhorn Creek Road. And my concern is over the $50 reservation fees that is going to be charged for our community centers and the $50 cleaning fee. So that's going to be $150 up front for our community, which most of the people cannot afford that.
No, that's not right. It's $50, you put a $50 deposit and a $50 for you, not no 100.
It's my understanding, and since I only have 10 minutes, if you would let me read what I have got, and then you can comment on it. We're looking at $150 up front, 7 days before your reservations. And since we're already paying county taxes, it seems that you want to charge us again for what we're already paying for. We never complained about our center by not having hardwood floors or a fireplace or a big TV. Our community, we were just happy to have the community center where our people could go and have functions, because most of the people right now are struggling to even buy food, let alone having to pay $150 up front. We know that the $50 cleaning fee will be returned if it's left clean. But the $50 charge for rental, we've never had to do that before, and I don't think it's fair to our community. So when I called and asked about these fees, I was told that we had caretakers. I asked her who is going to come out after each one of these functions and inspect the center to make sure that everything is clean. And from what I can understand from the papers that I got, we have to make sure that the whole area, the parking area, and everything is clean, or we don't get that $50 back. Most of the time, and the stuff that has been damaged in that community center is done during the day when Jerry comes in and unlocks the bathroom doors for people that comes in there through the day. It's not the people that uses the center. So I would like to know what the magistrates pay for out of for their center. A few years ago, we asked Mr. Robinson to get us a flagpole put up. We would even furnish the flags. We never got that.
It's $10,000.
We also asked for a gate to be put up at this center so that it would keep the people out of there at night. I had to have a security system put in my home because I live right next door to the center. They're in there all hours of the night. And we never got that. He said there wasn't room to put a gate, but there is, so go check it and see for yourself. But anyway, we got couches and chairs, and that was really we didn't need that. But if people have to pay this $50 reservation fee, then should they be able to use that building for what they want? We were told years ago that we couldn't have yard sales or anything in there unless it was for charity use. But if we have to pay for that, can we not use it for what we would like to use it for? And why are some centers not charging until after the 1st of next year? And ours is already being charged. Is this supposed to be a county-wide thing? Maybe some are more greedy. But when I talked with Mrs. Haney about these charges, I asked who would be coming out to check the centers to make sure it was left clean. She said it was her understanding that there were caretakers for the centers. Who are the caretakers and what are their responsibilities? Everyone cleans up after using the center. We may have had a few that didn't, but Jerry always comes up after people are finished. If it's not clean, then he should call them. The stove oven has been cleaned one time. My niece and I cleaned it then. There are no towels to clean with, which in the papers that we got, that said that there was towels to clean with. And the damage that has been done in the restrooms have been during the day, after he opens up the bathroom doors. So it's my understanding is that this county is broke, and now you're trying to get money from wherever you can, and it's not fair to our community and our sinners to be charged this money. And that's what I'm here for too.
Eleanor, I would like you to make an appointment for to come to the office, and Brian and I will listen to what you're talking about, and your 10 minutes is up.
Alrighty, thank you.
But we'll be glad to listen and see what we can do to help you.
So,
Eleanor, it's just a hard situation. Every magistrate up here is very appreciative for their community centers. They worked hard to get it. Throughout the community, this court gets blasted for the community centers. Everyone up here has took a personal hit because they got too many community centers. Is that true? I ain't commenting if it is, if it ain't. So we get blamed for too many, and then we get blamed for trying to charge. I mean, nobody wants to charge anybody for a community center. It's yours, it's there. I don't know where the $150 come from.
Not 100.
It's supposed to be $50 for the use of the center.
It's $50 for the use of the center, and it's a $50 deposit. That deposit is returned by mail, or you can pick it up after the caretaker has inspected to make sure there's no damage and it's left fairly clean. I think the papers say they would like for you to make sure you take your garbage out and put it in the dumpster, and don't leave papers and trash on the drive. And there is 2 caretakers. They are responsible for letting you in, letting you out, locking you leave. They have to mow the grass. They have to do general cleaning, and they do inspect it after they leave, and the money's returned after they call our office.
so who are the caretakers?
Jury Childress is up there.
Well, his name's not on the paper. His wife's name is on the paper.
She's the one that we usually talk to and schedule for somebody to come out and open. And then there's a Mr. McPeak at Greasy.
Or we make payments. But we pay for getting the grass mowed, we pay for
And see, they have to be paid for their time to come out and open and close.
tissue paper, all the cleaning stuff, we pay for all that.
There's no paper towels ever out there whenever, because we use it quite a bit, but there's no paper towels ever out there. Towels that we took in, and you know yourself that I volunteered a lot there just to open the doors, because Jerry and Rosemary half the time are not there to open up the doors, and they come to me and say, can you let us in?
We buy the paper towels and take them over. Where they go to, I don't know.
Well, it should be checked out, but I just don't think it's fair that we have to pay that money.
We have to pay about $300 or $400 a month power bill. People use it to flea markets and make money at it, but yard sales.
I can tell you this, Eleanor, and I'll end this conversation. I've been here since January of 15, and I can't recall a single deposit that this court's kept from anybody. You said you live beside the center. That deposit is insured, that the grass is mowed, the garbage is picked up. I hope you never come out of your house and look over and the grass is too big or there's garbage everywhere.
The inmates were up there today doing the weed eating. Jury only mows the bottom.
I would like to finish this conversation, but I'd like to do it in the judge's office. I would love for you to come in and sit down and us talk about this, and so we can both get on the same page and understand each other.
Our center has never had to pay a rental fee or a reservation fee. Our center has never had to do that. And then I understand that some are not even going to be starting the charges until after the first of the year. We're already doing that to our center. So I thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And there's been one that's charged ever since Magistrate Varney's been a magistrate. He has had Grants Branch and the Senior Citizens Center out of the Belfry Fire Department, out of the Belfry Courthouse, has been charged from the whole time since January of 2015, because he's had vandalism and they stole the copper out of it, out of a good log cabin building, that he ended up started doing the deposits and the charging. And he's using that to put it back into his facility to buy things for it that has, once the coal severance money was used to build each and every center, there is not much money to keep funding for the lights, the paper towels, the toilet paper, the garbage,
Water.
the everything that goes on. When the coal severance used to build these, then we get left to maintain. And it's just like everything else. We've gotten inundated with everything to take care of whenever the money's gone to construct them. But nobody's complained at Grants Branch, and Bobby's done well with it.
There's some of them that the community takes care of them. They schedule them, they charge, and they mow their own grass.
I think the one at Lower Johns Creek does at Joe's Creek.
David Sloan. Donald Sloan. I didn't write it good.
I don't know who wrote it, but
You got 10 minutes.
thank you, sir. My name is, can everybody hear me? My name is Darrell Sloan. My address is 1993 Upper Johns Creek Road, Kemper, zip code 41539. Miss Robinson, could I ask you a question? When I asked to sign up to public comments, what did you tell me?
She told you what she was.
I'm asking her. I'm
She
asking
told
her.
you what she was directed to tell you, and she was directed by me
Okay.
to inform you
All right.
that if you had anything new to say, please come and speak. You're welcome here. Just don't be repetition on everything that you spoke about the last 2 or 3 times you was here.
I was
That's
repetitious.
That's all the court wants out of you, Mr. Sloan.
Okay.
Go ahead.
She said I wasn't nice, and I was loud, and I was rude. Could you explain to me? Because I just talk like I always do.
I'll answer it also. When
Okay,
I come out
appreciate
here and
it, sir.
spoke with you, you got up in my face, didn't like what I was telling you, and the only thing I was telling you then is what I'm telling you now. Don't be repetition. If I knew we was just going to talk about what our conversation was, I'd have made that conversation longer to shorten your time.
Why did you say you weren't going to let us talk?
I didn't say you couldn't talk. I said don't be repetition. Don't keep talking about the things you've talked about in the past. I don't think that's unfair to ask of you. I think that's as fair as I can be on you. And
Wait a minute. Now, my point of view is that I take it that you're infringing on my First Amendment right of free speech. And also, you're telling me what I can say and what I can't say. Now, that's censorship.
my question is, what did you come here to speak on? So far, you were just speaking about the issues that we talked about before the meeting.
Well-
Please get on with the issues that you come here to speak about.
Well, I was going to speak about the danger we have in a dilapidated house. But when I come here and I'm told I cannot speak, that really tore me up. I mean, is this a democracy or are you a dictator?
I believe you speaking, I mean, it contradicts what you're saying.
No,
you're
it don't
speaking.
contradict.
Yeah, you
I
are.
don't
You're saying that you're not allowed to
contradict.
speak, but you're speaking to me by saying it.
And I asked you, you're not the judge. Cannot the judge speak for himself?
Sir, I think I can answer my own questions.
I
mean,
think
the
you can
question,
too.
yeah. I said you had 10 minutes and please be respectful. And that's all I said.
No, you never.
I'm sure that's all we all ask.
Okay. All right. I was going to ask, it was brought up, are y'all going to raise our solid waste tax? I'm asking.
Raise the solid waste tax?
Huh?
I don't think there's a tax on solid waste. You're talking about the monthly rate?
Yes.
That'd be up to the court and up to the Commissioner, Bobby Mullins.
Well, let me ask you something else. Mr. Mullins, how long have you been ahead of solid waste? Have you ever made any money? Have you made a profit?
Mr. Sloan, there's so much goes into solid waste to be considered. At one time, you can be a doing good in solid waste. You can be a taking in good money, and then on the other hand, you start losing, just like at the landfill whenever you lost the, all the mines that quit bringing stuff in because it was going out of business. And you're talking about, it's easy to lose $1 million real quick. And,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
nobody's fault that's sitting here. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. So whenever that you lose on one hand, then you got to find a way to pick up on the other hand. The Solid Waste Department is a program that is sponsored by the citizens of Pike County. Whenever that you go to losing coal severance money and you go to losing businesses, this is a very essential department for Pike County and for its people. Well, the people of Pike County is just going to have to pay for the solid waste because you ain't got no money coming from nowhere else. We have to have that department. There's decisions we make and things that we do some people agree with, some people don't agree with. Regardless how we feel about the solid waste program, where we're going to get our money from, where our equipment's coming from, garbage is going to be laying out there in the morning. I don't care if it higher lips a pope. It's going to be laying out there.
Yes,
and we're
I
going to have to
understand.
pick it up
Yes.
one way or the other. And we got to have a place to take it to. And so it's a service that we've got to provide. Sometimes we do well. Sometimes we don't do so well.
Right.
When I took over with solid waste, at that time you had a $2 million deficit. And we brought that down to near $300,000, best I remember, back a year or so ago. But then we started losing ground again because of the coal mines, okay, going down. Well, so then we have all this unforeseen cost that comes up that that's not even in the budget sometimes. That's not planned on. Just like this past year with our landfill, we had a set of scales that had been there ever since the landfill opened. They rusted out. They broke in two, beyond repair. The state comes in, they shut us down. You have to have those scales. So that was, I don't know, time we leased a set for a little while and we had to purchase a set. That was around $40,000. That was not in the budget. That was not planned by this court. Nobody on this court could help that. I couldn't help that. Well, then it's a law that you got to go by. We had a compactor, and it has to weigh so much. That thing weighs 92,000 pounds. You have to have that in your landfill. The engine goes down. Well, that was another $30-some thousand. That was not planned in our budget. That was not set aside in that. Then the wheels wears out and collapses. All of this in the past year, another $40-some thousand. So there's no way I can sit here and tell you that, yes, we're making money, or no, we ain't making money. I do know that from July of last year to July of this year, with grants and everything, we took in near $5 million. But it has costed more than that to run solid waste. And so I don't know what you're getting at. Are we making a big profit? No, we're not making a profit. We don't have money to put back for equipment. And every time that I've got to have a piece of equipment or a part or something, it's not little change. It's never little change. It's always big money. And when I've got to have it, this court has to struggle to find the money to keep solid waste program going. And I think the people of Pike County appreciate the solid waste program. And
Hey, Bobby, time's up.
okay.
I'll be back next
Donald,
time.
you are welcome to come to my office and talk to me anytime you want to.
Well,
Now, I'm not here at every day. I've got other things I got to do out in the county.
Well,
But let me know and come by, and I want to talk and listen, talk some.
Well, Judge, I'm like you. I'm busy too. My wife, she's sick, and I got a son that's sick, and I try to go to church all the time, and now I'm starting college, and I'm kind of busy. But I've talked to all these other people, and the problem is I hurt some people's pride, you know, and that's the reason I can't get it done. The thing I cannot understand, and I'll hush after this, just give me this one thing. We got a family that lives right beside of that place, 3 of them. If that house burns down, them people don't know it. They're going to burn up. And this court don't care about them people.
I'll get that officer to talk to you if you want to, but if you want to come into my office and explain the situation to me, I'll see what I can do.
Well, I got to come down tomorrow at 9. Could I get an appointment around 12 or somewhere around there we talk?
Well, I should be here in the morning about 8:30.
Well, see, I've got to be at...
When can you come in?
Well, when I'm taking the test, I got to take an entrance test, and I'm taking that in the morning. So I'm thinking 12 when I get done.
We have a meeting at 9 already, and then you have another one at 11.
Just call the
So it could be at 1:30 or 2 o'clock tomorrow
I'll come by
evening.
when I get done. How's that?
We'll get together.
I appreciate it, Judge.
All right.
You're the only man I can count on.
Now we got another one here. Mike May? There he is.
Hey, Mike May, I'm from over at McAndrews. I'm gonna cut it pretty short here. Y'all took care of a big concern of mine that I was here about. But also, I have concerns about this county. We all should. We get a lot of lip service from all of you. But really, we need to work together. We need to I say we, it is my county too. We need to get tough. I've heard you say, far as layoffs, but it has come a time, and I want to speak on the $600,000 going to the senior citizens. I think with the concerns and the confusion and the bang you're getting for your buck, I think it's time that maybe that needs to be looked at, and that $600,000 would probably bring back, half of the employees that you cut off? And not that I'm against senior citizens now, but like I say, when hard times come, and something really is going to have to be done, it keeps getting worse and worse. I'm just throwing that out there, that I do think it needs to be talked about. Things don't need to be shoved around. But and then also on the golf course. Here, a lot of talk about the lease, $33,000. Oh, we don't want to leave it because it's so valuable. Well, I was thinking if it's that valuable and such a nice building, I believe maybe it could be subleased or something and even maybe make some money on it, because if I have not looked at the buildings and such, but was it come to $2,000-some a month? I think that's something rather than, we better keep it open on that account. But, to do, and I think y'all do realize, but you're going to have to step up and really get a hold of it. And like I say, the senior citizens, again, $600,000, wow. And for what we see that's been going on here, and then Ms. Thacker, about on down the road, so maybe it's time to get that $600,000 back in our budget. And one more thing, they're talking about the thing, but now the county attorney, referring to him, is he running this court? I mean, it should be given advice, illegal, what could be done, but for whatever's going on at this Hidden Valley, I still think it should come fall in y'all's ballpark. So I appreciate y'all letting me speak, and you won't have to tell me my 10 minutes is up tonight. And thank y'all for taking care of my...
Mike, I'd like to comment a little bit on the senior citizens. There's a lot of people that don't have a place to go and socialize after they get, they call it the golden years, but I don't know how much gold it is.
Rusty years.
Anyway, we have people that they go there to socialize and have a meal. And on the other hand, they deliver meals to the people that are not able to get out. And I think, our senior citizens should be on the top priority of our budget, and our children. I just feel that we need to take care of them people because they can't take care of themselves. And unfortunate, money has got tight. We've never had this problem before. And things come down the road that we don't see. But I'll always stand up and support a senior citizen. And thank you.
I commend you for that, Hillman, and you're preaching to the choir. I have nothing against. I'm just saying the money to what you're getting. Providing them, yes, it's great. And I do think but maybe the county can jump in. I mean, 600,000 and you don't have no control. I mean, I just think that's something to look at.
Well, listen,
The reason that they are given money from the county is because they can apply through other entities, such as with Big Sandy Ad, to get more funding for the senior citizens program. That is why it used to be ran by the Pike County Fiscal Court. But the guidelines and things changed, and under Governor Patton, when he was county judge, we set up the board in order to be able to apply for more funding above and beyond what the county was able to contribute. And that's why the board is set up that way, and we contribute because there's state and federal funding that the board can tap into that we cannot do.
But 600,000 is still a whole lot of money out of the budget in today's world with what money we got coming in.
Right. Well, what I was going to tell you was, the garbage doesn't pay its own way. The county has to pay the money that what they get for the picking up the garbage. So what would you do?
Now, I really don't understand your question about the garbage.
Yeah. Should it pay its own bills?
Well, maybe it should, but still again, if it needs a little help, yeah, okay. I mean, to get the service and whatnot, I mean, because I, for one, don't want to be paying a big garbage bill.
Well, I inherited the darndest mess you ever seen from the other administration. That road around Fish Trap, have you heard about it?
Oh, yes, I have.
You know what? They had a contract on it. I've got all the paperwork in my office. They had a $2 million contract to do the job. Well, I went up there and looked at it, and I could take what equipment I've left over from the coal business I used to be involved in, and go up there and do what they did for $2 million. I could do it for $400,000, maybe $500,000. Then listen to this. There's another book there where it'd take $1,700,000 to finish it. Now, you tell me why somewhere in the county that they can't look into business like that and see where the money went.
Well, I think it should be looked into. I think it should be covered, at least look into it. Rattle some cages. Yes, you're right. And I think you will find a lot of that over the past several years.
Well, over the past several years, they built up some things here that it's not like it used to be. It's different. So we have to make changes. I may have to raise the garbage bill so it'll pay its own bills.
Yeah, I hope that don't come to that, but you do need to be, and really, we need to talk facts, and quit blowing off that's for all of us. And I appreciate your gumption, Judge Deskins.
Well, I have been in business, coal business, and worked for a living. I spent 28 years in Baltimore, Maryland, working all over the eastern states. And I just got tired of moving my children. My son David, I come back when he was in the 7th grade, had been in 14 different schools.
Well, these hills are great. Pike County is a great place to live. I don't care what people say.
I love it. I love it.
I do too, and I for one, as a young man, I went off to work in a car factory in Michigan. It weren't for me. Things have been tough all my life. I mean,
Thank you, man. Good.
Thank y'all.
All right, John Thacker.
Thank you, Judge, for giving me an opportunity to speak. My name is John Thacker. I live at Hidden Valley subdivision on Hurricane. I arrived at this court this evening, and I asked Mr. Robinson over there, I want to be put on for comment, public comment. She said, you can't, you have to go see the county attorney. She brought Mr. Hayes out, and he said, I had to go see the county attorney. Refused me to on a comment. And I don't have a fight with nobody here in this court. I've been a minister for about 35 years in the old Ragged Baptist. I never have harmed nobody. I try to obey the law of this land, and I try to obey God. And my God, He don't have no respectable person. This court here has a respectable person. And Mr. Moore's come out. I mean, honest, I ain't got a thing against you, Mr. Moore. You told me I couldn't speak. I had to go see the county attorney. I said, it's a shame.
You know, John, that is absolutely not true.
What?
I told you that I was not here at the last meeting.
I know you
The
were.
county attorney was here. Do you remember me telling you that?
Yeah, you did.
And do you remember what he said about the roads down there in Hidden Valley? He had an interpretation of obstruction which was not as restrictive as mine. Do you remember me telling you that?
You did.
And I said, you need to go talk to Mr. Hall because he had told this court what his definition of obstruction was. Now, if you're going to get up there and tell this, tell the facts.
I will. I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
I misquote you, Mr. Hayes.
thank
I
you.
don't have nothing against you. I want to finish what I started, okay? I hope you ain't mad or nothing. I didn't come here to cause no trouble. I had a brother I never got to see. My dad and mother had 9 children. He graduated from Pike College. He taught school for 2 years. He was drafted in the military in the United States Army in World War II. And he went to Germany in December 1944 or 45. He got killed, his whole platoon did, crossing the river. And I think he loved this country well enough to give his life to it. And I come here to this court and you'll deny me to speak. And I ain't got a thing against you. I can't understand the law. There's 4 different laws. And the county attorney come here last 2 weeks ago. And I know he ain't a dictator. He's just a lawyer for this county. He can advise them the law, but he cannot tell this court, except my neighborhood out of the county system, don't go down there and do no more work. And this where I live at, it's a subdivision. There are 20 lots down there. I think there's 19 houses or something. It's been surveyed out, certified, and it's put on record at the clerk's office, a 30-foot right-of-way. And Mr. Hall, the county, I'll give you his credit, Mr. Hayes. I'm not here to cause no trouble. I come to this court a year and a half ago, and I begged this court. I had a problem with drainage down there, and it was coming on my property. And I had a dogwood. I had 2 set out my yard. One of them died where water stood in it. And I got water under my house. My neighbor did too. He had to put a sub pump in his and get the water out of it where they filled the ditches up and turned the water over on them. But I come to beg this court. And the county attorney come here, and he took up for certain people, and I ain't going to mention no name. And he, like the road commissioner, he said they went over to South Williams and the government give them property. People put buildings on it. And he said we had to go over there and make them take it off. And I said, here, down there where I lived at, they had posters up side of the road, metal posts. And they had it up against the blacktop. They had a camper park, and they filled the ditch up with tuba-tin. You know, it's a funny thing to me. When I got a letter from this court you had prepared, Mr. Hayes, and it stated in it, and I got the law right here, all of it, and I said, it stated in it, you must have 30 days, and anything on the county right-of-way, and you must remove it. You know, they didn't do a thing till the 15th day of July. And the 17th day of July would have been their 30 days. And you know, I'm not a smart man. I'm just an average boy, guy. I'm 72 years old, going on 73. My time on this earth ain't very long. I got a health problem. And I can't understand it. They come in on Friday evening, and they went and moved the camper. They pulled the boards up. He cut the poles off. And the flower beds are still there. The cinder blocks are still side of the road. And there's a woman on the upper end where you come in, I had trees all over the road. But Sunday a week ago, she had a bunch of guys come in there and they trimmed the trees up and cut some out. But there's still some there you can't see around the curve. And they got fences up on the county property. I can't understand this county attorney saying on our community that. And I feel like...
Your time is up.
Okay, Judge, I'll see you next week, in 2 weeks.
Well, now listen, there's several ways to get things done. What, do you just up here make a noise or what?
No, I'm up here asking for help, Judge.
Well, you got courts you can get in, circuit courts.
I'm not going to circuit court.
Well,
This court to do something. I'm going to ask this court, and I know you ain't going to do it. I'm not here to argue with you, Judge Destin. With this court would make a motion and have the road commissioner go over there and fix our road.
Well, this court can't do what needs to be done down there.
Okay,
Get
I'll
an
take my seat.
engineer and a maps of your property.
I got a map.
All right, and I'm going to come down there and look at that map.
Okay.
And
I
see
brought
what-
it here last court and I showed it to
Know
you.
where the road right away is?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr.
Anyway.
Thacker.
Okay, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, all right. Now, we got something else to do. For proposal and discussion, adoption of a resolution for approval to apply for a LGEDF coal service tax grant available through HB 303 and for Teleworks, and authorization to execute all documents which are deemed necessary. Then there's two more that goes with that.
Well, Judge,
It's the same thing, really, so the same thing.
We'll address all three of them here in a
I need a
second.
motion.
Judge, if I may, before we ask for motion, may I speak to this?
Yeah.
Judge, one of the primary reasons we went into executive session early on in this meeting was to discuss pending litigation, a 3-year-old case approximately that I had filed at the request of this court under the previous administration. That case was filed in Franklin Circuit Court, is now in the Kentucky Court of Appeals, and that was the case, Judge, where this court took issue with the methodology in the state budget of a little over 2 years ago now, singling out Pike County, and Pike County alone out of all coal-producing and coal-impacted counties in the state, and not allowing line item appropriations under severance tax. It simply set Pike County aside and said all severance tax would have to be used for economic development purposes, a restriction which was put on no other county. Now, that thing's been pending, and since it was filed, we had an injunction entered in the Franklin Circuit Court prohibiting the Department of Local Government from expending funds from that coal severance tax account. This court was asked by the city of Pikeville to cooperate with it, and this court agreed to do that. And this court voted to have the injunction lifted with regard to that request. It was $1.4 million for the economic development work at Marion's Branch. At the same time, the city of Elkhorn City asked this court for help with some matching funds, at least around $143,000 for the water and sewage plant there at Elkhorn City near John Moore's branch. Also economic development. This court had the good sense to vote to do that, and that Elkhorn City got its money. Now, the balance of that money is still in that account that's tied up, still subject to that litigation. It's about $425,000. There will be some new monies going into it here shortly. But we need now to move forward and settle that case. There's nothing left to prove legally since Pike County was not singled out in the last state budget. Pike County was treated as every other coal-producing and coal-impacted county. Now, there's been a proposal made to settle that case, and essentially consists of 3 items. Brian, do you want me to mention what they are, or you want to mention?
Go ahead, you're doing great.
Oh, I'm doing great. All right, I love it. Essentially, the suggested settlement, to which, as I understand it, the attorneys, DLG, Legislative Research Commission's attorneys, everybody is agreeable to a settlement on this basis. First, we're into a project, and Brian Morris and Lisa Estep very much into this. I've been involved in it too, called Teleworks, an East Kentucky SEP program. Put people to work in Pike County at $9 to $10 an hour job, and meaningful work, much of which, if the internet service is available, can be done at home. But we've gotten pretty far down the road. We're looking for this money that's been tied up, settle this lawsuit, this year $150,000. That'll help us get this program up and running. Also, out of that approximately $425,000, we're looking at $200,000 for sheriff's cruisers, police cruisers. Now, some of you may remember back when we talked about the occupational tax, and I believe, Brian, it was in that pie chart that the sheriff was to get money for equipment. That didn't come into fruition, but $200,000 would be to buy new cruisers, new equipment for the sheriff's department. And finally, a judge, that would leave about $75,000 or $80,000. And it's been agreed that the Pike County could take that and put it into the senior citizens program. That would not increase the senior citizens budget, but would be used to offset the additional $100,000 that the court did put into that budget. If you'll recall, court, that $100,000 had historically been a line item appropriation from the legislature. So that's the gist of the settlement. I cannot settle a case, just like I can't file a case, Judge, unless this court agrees for me to do so. And that's what I'm asking, if what the court's will and pleasure is with regard to how we pursue this matter in the future, this lawsuit.
Judge, how many jobs will that create, Brian?
We've met with Teleworks. First of all, Teleworks is not a call center. Teleworks works with national and global companies as a customer service assistant, and they'll be able to help people all around the world. Teleworks has been established in 2015. Right now they are in Beattyville, Annville, Harlan, and Hazard. And since 2015, Hillman, it has generated well over 300 jobs for them communities. And like I said, we've met with Teleworks twice here in Pike County, once in Annville. Most recent meeting was this morning. We met with them, sit down. Teleworks is very excited to come to Pike County. Pike County, I told them, is very excited to bring them in. The way it's set up is it's an 8 weeks program. After that 8 weeks program, Teleworks gets the employees involved with companies like Xbox, Walmart, Apple, GNC, Toys R Us, U-Haul. That's just to name a few. And they go to work for them as customer service reps. They don't call them, they call the customer service. They get trained with their product. Like John Doug said, it's an average to $9 to $10 an hour. I think one of the companies is Apple. I think they shared with me this morning, Apple starts out $12 an hour. All these jobs is commission-based. A Pleasant Store, there was a person, I think, working in the Anvil, started last year. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, she made in between $60,000 and $70,000 last year. You know, I mean, teleworks isn't the long-term solution, but it's a start. It's $9, $10, $12 an hour with commissions. I really hope this court votes in favor of it.
How many's Perry County got working with them?
Perry County started, I think, about last year, and they're up to 80 employees right now. I think Anvil's the most successful one, over 200. They started one, I think, several months ago at Bettyville. That's a little small community on your way to Mountain Parkway. I think it was several months ago, and I think they shared with us this morning, they got 15 people working. They hired 4 this morning. And the way we want to set this up is, this is internet driven. You know, it's to go through these classes, and when you get hired on, you go to your home and you work out of your home. We understand that Pike County is challenged with high-speed internet access out in the county. So we've worked with Teleworks to where we'll set up a training center here inside this courthouse downstairs with a hub to where if they're not capable of going home to the high-speed internet access, they'll be able to come here and we'll provide that internet for them. Short term, a hub here in the courthouse. We want to start with one in the Belfry Courthouse, and we want to start one in the Phelps Courthouse. And when we sign this contract with Teleworks, understand also that it generates 8 jobs immediately, 6 within the shelters, hubs, maintenance, custodian, security. Teleworks also hires a manager, which will be chosen right here in Pike County, and they'll also have an assistant manager comes along with it. I truly believe after research with Teleworks, and Lisa will weigh in if you want to, I think in 2 years that Pike County will be their flagship county. I think when they go take other counties, when we met with them, you had Floyd County, Louisa, several other counties there begging them to come. And I really feel that Pike County will be their flagship county.
And this also is a program that we can pick up and have done within 3 to 6 months, ready to train people. We already have the facility downstairs. If we do get this co-severance money that we ask for, we'll be able to go ahead and put the computers in immediately. They'll be able to hire the manager, an assistant manager, and then we'll be able to put people back to work in the county that will help run these hubs, the workstations. Because I know I can speak from experience. My daughter works from home. She doesn't live here. She actually lives in the city of Louisville, but she lives on the outside. But she's a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids, and she does medical coding from her house. So, I mean, you are actually giving somebody in a job that maybe have never worked before. You also have students who come here to go to school. Their spouse may need a job part-time. With this, you do your own scheduling, and the workshops the workstations that we are projecting out in the county will enable people to work in the county and not have to come to the city. And what they do, they register their time. For example, they may lease a computer spot in the Belfry Courthouse at a certain time. We do have a security or a person that manages that will open that office for them and let them work, because some people may want to work out of their house anyhow, and they actually lease that spot per month. So it's an exceptional program. Like Judge Morris said, they had just started a program less than a couple months, and they've already put 10 people to work immediately. And they think that the system that we have set up is going to enable them to bring in more companies bigger companies to do internet service for them, customer service. This is not a call center. It's not they're making calls. These are calls coming into them asking general questions about a product. And we're able to train them here on site where they can work outside their home.
Lisa, the last time my Dell computer tore up several years ago, and I called to one of these call centers, I got somebody in Singapore, I think.
Exactly.
But anyhow, Judge, what we would need at this point in time, if the court's inclined to move forward with this, would be a motion to instructing the assistant county attorney to settle the lawsuit along the lines that I have outlined in my address to the court. That would take a motion, a second, and a majority vote.
Brian, would the people laid off be offered jobs first?
Yeah, my thing, Hillman, is it generates 7, 8 jobs immediately. I know the hub manager will be chosen, but I think the other 7, I think we look internal, and if we have people that just went through a layoff here at the county, I think we absolutely look at them to bring them back to fill them 7 positions.
Two, you want to take applications, and we do have a majority of applications in our office, and those who have been without a job that's been laid off, I would insist that they go ahead and put in the application, especially if they're aware of where have worked in that facility before. And they may be interested too in trying to join on the classes, be able to work there at the workstation too. So, and to become a manager. Yeah. I mean, to me, the big job is to be the manager of the whole hub. And we have several people laid off that can even qualify for that position or the assistant's position.
But yes, Hillman, absolutely. Need a motion and a second.
I need a motion.
Make the motion, Judge. Make the motion. Make the motion.
I'll make the motion. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson? Master Murphy?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yeah.
Master Dodson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
Now, Lisa, we've got all these applications that have to go down.
I have them ready.
DLG's expecting them.
I
I
have them
promise
ready
you
to go
that.
out tomorrow. I also, please, Judge, this is not on the agenda, but after a meeting today with the Teleworks program, there is the last, I think it was the last court meeting, Kentucky Power spoke of their grant, the KPEG grant, and I would like to ask the court to do a resolution being able for me to apply for marketing dollars for this program.
Judge, I think she has a resolution for the court to consider. It's just a resolution of the Pike County Fiscal Court supporting the 2016 Kentucky Power Economic Growth Grant Program. In other words, we support this. We're going to ask for money, aren't we, Lisa,
Yes,
under
we
this
are.
program? How much money are we talking about?
$18,700.
So that's the resolution, Judge. I could read it, but that's the essence of the resolution supporting that program and authorizing supports the funding, and I guess we need to go ahead and authorize the judge, Lisa, to execute any necessary documents that must be submitted in support of this grant application.
Correct. We will have to do an MOA with the Teleworks, and also we need to make sure we adopt the LGEDF. Make sure I know, was that in part of the lawsuit that was it all together? I just want to make sure we got everything on that.
Let's vote on this resolution. As I've summarized it, take a motion, a second, a majority vote. That's for the Kentucky Power Economic Growth Grant, and then we'll move back to the others.
Thank you.
I will make the motion. In a second. Roll call, please.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Dodson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
We can do these three in one resolution, I believe. And Is that all right with you, Madam Clerk? We do them in one resolution. Can you keep all that straight? So this will be an adoption of a resolution for approval to apply for, well, it's on the agenda there, the LGEDF Coal Severance Tax grant. That's the teleworks. The next one is the resolution from the same fund for the Senior Citizens Program funding. And the third one is the resolution for approval to apply for the Pike County Sheriff's Department, and that's for the purchase of cruisers and vehicles. So I'll take a motion, a second, a majority vote.
I make a motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Dodson.
Yes.
Mr. Barney,
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes.
One other thing, John, to make sure you did get the motion and second and the vote on the judge doing the contract for teleworks, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yes,
just gonna
I
make
think-
sure, I don't wanna
yeah.
miss out on anything.
Yeah. Authorization to execute all documents.
Thank you.
Yes, that's in there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other business? That's it, isn't it?
No, I got a couple personnel, Judge, if you don't care, just real quick. Need approval to reclassify Elizabeth L. and Cody Young from temporary status to part-time. This is due to requirements for retirement. Needs to be effective July 31st, 2016. I need approval to change Martha Howe's position from the GIS specialist to EMA secretary effective 10/1/2015 due to extra funding from FEMA to get salary and fringes reimbursed. I'd also like to give Doug a little credit here. Doug's worked hard on working with FEMA. He's got an assistant over there, and he has incorporated at up to $9,000 of her salary to be reimbursed back to the county from FEMA.
Yeah.
Doug, that's an outstanding move, and appreciate you going to the trouble to getting it done. EMA, sorry.
Well,
I
it's
said
it's
FEMA,
all
didn't I?
federal funds. It's through the
EMA?
EMA.
Well, they got it wrote down, FEMA.
Well, that's where the money comes from.
That's where it comes from,
Yeah, it's Emergency Management
Yeah,
Performance
but
Grant.
just want to thank you for your trouble. And that's Bill's recommendations.
It's your recommendation and motion, Judge.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Dodson,
Yes.
Mr. Barney,
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes. All right, I believe that's about to wind up things here.
I've got a few comments, Judge.
Do what?
Are you at attorney's comments?
Yes.
Report? Judge, today, I wasn't in your office, but I understand a petition was dropped off there, and I have prepared late this afternoon an executive order for your signature, and you've already signed it. That will go in your executive order book, and at this time I'd like to read that. This is order number 08.02.16.008, executive order of Pike County Judge Executive William M. Deskins, whereas KRS 67.050 provides that upon application by written petition signed by registered voters of Pike County equal in number to 1,200 registered voters of the county judge executive shall enter an order on his order book at the next regular term after the petition is filed, calling for an election to submit to the legal voters of the county the following question. This is a quote, "Are you for or against having a fiscal court composed of 3 commissioners and the county judge executive, question mark, close quote. And whereas an application by written petition was received by the county judge executive on the 2nd day of August, 2016, and whereas KRS 67.050 further provides that said order, quote, shall be entered at the next regular term after the petition is filed, and shall direct the election to be held at the next regular election to be held in the county if the order is filed with the Pike County Clerk not later than the second Tuesday in August preceding the day of the regular election, close quote. And whereas this is the next regular term after the petition was filed, now therefore it is hereby ordered, subject to verification that 1,200 registered voters have signed the petition, an election to submit the following question, quote, are you for or against having a fiscal court composed of 3 commissioners and a county judge executive, question mark, close quote, shall be placed on the ballot at the next regular election to be held in Pike County, that being the regular election being held in Pike County in November 2016. Dated this the second day of August 2016 and executed by William M. Deskins, Judge Executive, Pike County Fiscal Court, attest Rose Farley, Fiscal Court Clerk. This will be entered, Judge, in your executive order book, and obviously what it does is set for the election in November, this question about the commission form of government. Interesting aspect of this, Judge, I might point it out, for the first time ever, I've seen electronic signatures. I tried to do some research of the law on that. Talked to Rich Ornstein down at CAECO. He doesn't know of any law on that. That is an interesting question, maybe bears some examination, but there it is. And
John Doe, where did that come from?
Where did what come from?
Paperwork.
That paperwork, I did that, Judge. That's my draftsmanship. That's my duty under the law, and that's your duty under the law once that petition is filed. Now, you'll notice it is subject to verification by the county clerk that there are 1,200 registered voters. So there it is, and unless the court's got any question, I'll move on to the rest of my report.
Well, I hadn't had any time to think about the situation.
Actually, Judge, I don't mean this disrespectfully at all. I say it with all due respect. There's really nothing to think about. The law is very specific. Once you get that petition, you don't have any more options. The court doesn't have to approve it. It simply, the mechanism starts. I have started that from a legal standpoint. As I say, there may be some questions about the petition. There may not be. That's not up to me. I don't verify the signatures, so it's...
Well.
All right, Judge, I have a couple of other matters. This court authorized me, about 3 or 4 weeks ago to file suit against a business over in Magistrate Varney's district called Sweet Dreams Suites. Sweet Dreams Suites is a motel. It's South Williamson, isn't it, Bobby?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that was with regard to the hotel motel tax, which funds in large part the Pike County, what is that, Convention and Tourism Bureau or Tourism and Convention Bureau, whatever it is, Pike County Tourism. Just now got the paperwork. They haven't had a chance to look at it. It looks like since late 2014, the whole year of 2015, and up through this date, no tax have been paid, and there have to be an accounting, and that actually have to be filed in circuit court. But the reason I bring this up, Judge, in solid waste a few days ago, it was pointed out to me that Sweet Dreams Suites now owes slightly in excess of $12,506 solid waste bill. They haven't paid any in the year 2016. Doesn't look like they paid any in the year 2015 and a good part of 2014. I would like authorization, if the court is so inclined, to not only sue with regard to the hotel motel tax, but sue with regard to this delinquent solid waste bill. That's just too much money to accrue over that long a period of time. So that's what I'm asking, if the court would, if there's a motion and a second, granting me leave to file this solid waste bill.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
Judge, one final matter, and not trying to beat a dead horse, but comments have been made about public comment. Public citizens' comments are addressed in the code. And I just want to read to the court and to the public so that you'll know. And this is in, and I'll be very brief, this is in the Pike County Code, and it specifically, if anybody wants to look at it, is under section 120, court meetings, and it's subpart 14, subpart letter 0. Citizens present at the court meeting may speak on any subject being considered by the court. The presiding officer, that's you, Judge, shall limit the comment of citizens attending when those comments are no longer helpful to the court in making their decisions, or when the meeting becomes unruly, or the comments become repetitious. Now, that's what Brian Morris was talking about, repetitious comments. Citizens' comments shall be restricted to not more than 10 minutes on each subject, and of course the court can waive that. But I just wanted to point that out. This is not rules made up as we go. This is a long-standing law of this county, and just want to make everybody aware of that. Judge, I
What do we need to do? Oh, yeah. Commissioners and directors' comments.
Judge, I gotta bring a matter before the court, and I had a couple things. One thing is, we've had discussion on this dilapidated housing program, and like I said, we don't have the equipment or the money to do it with, and I don't know what the court needs to do, but I would recommend to put that project on hold, that dilapidated housing program, until the solid waste can find funds to operate on and to be able to do that. And because we don't have the money, we don't have the manpower, don't have the equipment. Now, however, I'd like to say that any magistrate or something that I could work with, and they could work with me, and I could maybe take roll-off boxes or something that I could help out in that manner. And so that'd be my recommendations on that. Now, you heard the condition of the county's budget and finances and so forth. The solid waste has its problems too. It comes time of the year that in solid waste ordinance, and I want to read this to the court, and then I'll make my recommendations, and then the court can do what they need to do. But it states in the solid waste ordinance, fees to be charged in adjustment thereof, it shall be the policy of the court to operate the solid waste collection disposal services under this ordinance on a balanced budget. In furtherance of that policy, rates hereunder shall be adjusted annually so as to produce a balanced budget. On or before August the 15th of each year, the administrator shall set a rate for the following year which can reasonably be expected to pay all of the operating costs of the solid waste collection disposal program, plus all accumulated deficits from prior years. The court may review and adjust the proposed rate within 15 days. The rate as set by the administrator or as adjusted by the court shall be effective for all services rendered after September the 1st of that year and continuing for the succeeding 12 months. Now, you know, we've had a lot of problems and things. We need to operate on a balanced budget, and I've talked about this before. So I would set the rate at $17.50 for regular rate and $14 for a discount rate for people that's on low income, and that'd be my recommendations.
All right. All right, next. Anything?
Sorry, Judge, I do have a couple of things. One thing we do have coming up is the Small Business Expo at Big Sandy, which is going to be held at Jenny Wiley State Park on Friday, August the 19th. And this is to allow small businesses free services. You know, they'll be there showcasing different services that we have here available in our area. So we're trying to, the magistrates have this flyer in your packet. If you have a chance, please stop by your small businesses and make sure that they have this information, because it's a good program for them to check out. So it's August the 19th from 10 to 2. A couple other things is this weekend we start the Kentucky State Play, which is Blood Song, over at the Hatfield-McCoy Outdoor Park. Starts Friday and Saturday. It starts at 7:30. If anybody needs tickets or more information, you can obtain that at 754-4228. That starts Friday and Saturday of the month of August. Also, we obtained enough funds through donations to where at the Hatfield-McCoy Park, where the outdoor theater is, that we have a fence, a privacy fence, that'll be placed up so it'll actually detour from the traffic from the road. And also, we have the Sheriff's Department is going to be helping maintain traffic and ATV activity during that time, so we can actually have a good show. So thanks to Stephanie and her hard work and trying to obtain these funds to get that completed for us. And thank you, Paul, for all your work and helping me get all this stuff done for.
Have they already started on the fence?
We start on the fence tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, we just got the fence in today, so we'll
Okay.
probably start on it tomorrow. I don't know if we'll get it finished, but we'll get started.
Good deal.
Show starts Friday. So, yeah, it's Friday. The fence may not be completely up, but we will have it. The other thing is, we do already have the bids going out for crumb rubber, so the mulch will be able to, we'll also make that beautiful when it's finished. A couple other things. We have an ATV. We had an ATV meeting. We're going to have an ATV tour ride, inviting people if they want to come out and ride. We're going to meet on August the 20th at 10 a.m. at the Feds Creek Fire Department. That's the one that's up in Feds Creek. And we will be riding to Mate 1 for lunch. So that's a ride. If you need any more information, Magistrate Dotson or myself in the office will have that. Also, I'll show you another picture. The community center at Mouthcard, we ended up having enough funds to be able to purchase the chairs and tables that it needed there at the community center. And it was brought to the attention, the flagpole at Marbone. I'll look to see if what we can do, if we can at least find donations or funding to get you the flagpole up in that area. So that goes to all the community centers. I just need a wish list. You never know when something may fall out of the sky for us. So that's one of the pictures at the Mouthcard Center. Again, thanks to Paul and his crew for unloading and getting those in there for us. And also, we had enough money left over to buy a storage unit outside, so we do have enough to put in there to save any of the old tables or those chairs that we needed. So, and I think that's about finishing out that account, besides maybe a couple of little things. There's also a signage outside that actually can tell, put in community events for that area.
Did you get a grant to buy it with?
That is old money, yes, we had left over. Okay, and I think that's about it. There's a fundraiser ride. It's an ATV poker run at the Dorton Rescue Center. That's over in Chicks area. That it'll be this Saturday starting at 10. But if anybody wants to, they can visit the website and they'll have information on this. And guys, thank you so much for passing teleworks and letting us get some more something in to help with this economy, and I'll work really hard to make sure that program's successful. So, thank you. That's all I have, Judge.
Lacey, they don't have much on the river trail.
Sorry about that. I delivered the application for the Fish and Wildlife for the river access, paddle access. Representative Harris was meeting with them yesterday. We hope to get started on at least 2 sites. Hopefully, we'll get good news about that funding. In the meantime, I know Magistrate Varney and I are working with the landowners to obtain that property to end up to work on his sites. I'm working with Magistrate Dotson on his sites. We still have the Woodman area that we can claim that land, and we'll do as much in-kind work as we can until we get funding to get this open.
Done. All right, any other thing? I'll second that motion. Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson, Magistrate Johnson, Magistrate Murphy, Magistrate Robinson,
Jimmy, I'll be careful.
Magistrate Dotson, Magistrate Varney,
Yes.
Judge Driscoll.
Yes.